today we have the master of the animal heads, Darryl Nelson. He has done gazillions of fireplaces, railings, chandeliers, and he did probably by now thousands of animal heads of all kinds.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share with you the tools and techniques that I've developed over the last 50 years.
So the most critical thing about getting a good looking head is pre-shape. The pre-shape for these different heads are the same but subtly different. Where the wolf is 3-sided taper, 1.25 inches long, about 7/16 to 3/8 on the edge of the snout. If the pre-shapes aren't right, the finished product isn't right. Here you've got start to finish. In this video, we're going to be discussing how to forge a wolf's head. We're going to be using 1-inch square stock. First step of the process is to forge a 3-sided taper, tapered on the top and the sides and flat on the bottom. The taper should be about 1 inch to 1.125 inches long. Terminate on the end with a rectangular shape, roughly 1/2 inch by 5/8. All right, the next step in this process is to isolate the mass for the nose, the snout. I'm going to do this by, we're coming 2/3 of the way up onto the top side of the head, half face blows. (45°). Take the corners off. Turn to the sides, shoulder to shoulder blows. Give it about a 3/16 inch chamfer. Now the rest of the forging happens at the vise. I'm using approximately a 1/4 inch wide fuller. I'm placing it so that half of the fuller is above the brow line, the bridge of the snout, and half is below. Bring it back about 1 inch. Use that same fuller. I'm going to follow it up the chamfer on the top of the snout. And I'm going to finish off this heat with a teardrop shape fuller. Place the point of the teardrop at the base of the snout. I'm leaving a small area of mass for an eyebrow. This heat, I'm going to be using an 1/8 inch fuller. I'm going to place it at the bottom corner diagonally. I'm going to come around to the back of the fuller that distinguished the brow from the cheeks. This is going to create a little bit of a beard, or what I call mutton chops, that a wolf has, bottom corners of his face. Once I push that back, using a side set, it's approximately a 1/2 inch by 1 inch and about a 10 degrees pitch to it. Drive that material back. And I'm going to go back to my 1/8 inch fuller. I'm going to texture that. Right now I'm going to use that same 1/8 inch fuller to create the ears. Once again, diagonally across the top corner. Going to use the side set. Push that material back. And to gather that material up, narrow it up some so that we can flare it back out again when we push the holes in the air. I'm going to use that same side set to soften some edges. Bring his nose around. Now to finish the ears, I'm using a progression of punches, triangular shaped, starting with a large one. Place it centered at the base of the ear. Then I'm going to a little narrower triangular shaped punch. And as I drive this one, I'm rocking it towards the point of the ear. Then I'm going to use the 1/8 inch fuller. I'm going to flare the bottom portion, or the outside portion of the ear. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch fuller. Bring the points back to those ears. Right now we're going to do the mouth and the nose using a small hot cut. For the nose, I'm angling at 45 degrees to the center of the snout. They have a split upper lip and the bottom half of their nose is split. Same chisel to give him nostrils. I'm cutting in this mouth. I want to follow the top edge of the bottom chamfer. Bring it all the way back till it touches his jaw. I'm using a teardrop shaped bob punch. I'm going to open up some eye sockets. Need to open these up so they'll accept the eye punch. Well, we're going to finish up by putting the eyes in. We're using an eye-shaped eye punch. Placing it into the sockets we formed. When I drive my eye punch, I like to rock it around so I get good purchase. 360 degrees. And I'm using the 1/8 inch fuller. Going to bring that brow back in a little bit. And I'm going to texture that eyebrow lightly.